Let's cancel Andrew Tate. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook and Twitter have all banned and deplatformed Andrew Tate, and that was the correct decision. Now that they've done that, I expect them to also cancel Cardi B for bragging about drugging men in hotels and stealing their belongings. I also expect them to cancel every rapper and artist who admits to murders and killings on their songs. I also expect them to cancel Kim Kardashian for encouraging young girls to do body modifications. I also expect them to cancel any other influencer who has done wrong things in the past. I'm expecting Logan Paul to be cancelled too for what he did in the past. Look, if we're gonna cancel Andrew Tate, it means that we need to cancel everybody else who has an opinion that people don't like. Every time someone doesn't agree with an opinion, they should not be shut up. That's not how society works. That's not how we've been able to grow as a human society. The reason why humans have been able to grow as a society so well is because of varying opinions. It's because we test what people say. And when your opinions get tested, it helps you solidify why you believe in that certain thing so much. It's so important that we test each other's truths. There is only one truth and there's many opinions. So if there is only one truth, people shouldn't worry about loads of opinions going around, because if you're certain in your truth, it doesn't matter what other people say, your truth will always be correct. And if you feel like other people's opinions makes you feel convicted about your truth, that should indicate to you that you should probably look into what you believe in and why you believe into it so much. Shutting people up for having their opinions is not conducive to growth in our society. If black people were shut up for having their opinion when they didn't have any freedom or rights to freedom, then they would have never had their rights to freedom. If women were shut up for having their opinions about voting and the rights to work, they would have never had any rights to work or have any votes right now. If people who were gay or a part of the LGBTQ community, if they were shut up when they were talking about their rights for marriage, then they would have never had that. It's so important in our society that we're able to express our opinions and express the things that are resting on our hearts. Listen to this quote: hard times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Andrew Tate is the result of the easier times that we're living. There is no other time you probably heard that there is no other time in human history than right now for anybody who's a human. There is no other easier time. There is no other easier time. We've got longer life expectancy than ever before. Health is better than ever before. Standards of living are better than ever before. There are no easier times than what we've been living in for the last few decades. The internet age especially has made it just incredibly easy to access knowledge. Access knowledge that before would have taken you decades to access the same amount of knowledge. Think about Christopher Columbus, who had to travel all across the world to go and, reach to America. But if I want to go to America, I can just do that on an 8-hour flight. There are no other easier times. And let me tell you, Andrew Tate is the result of these easier times. Andrew Tate is a hard and strong man, and he preaches about more harder and stronger men being needed. That's all. He is the result of the easy times that we're living in. Simple as that. And that's all he preaches. He preaches about hard and strong times. And whether you want to agree with it or not, Andrew Tate is exactly what society needs. Society needs that person, that role model who is preaching to, I can't lie, the snowflake generation that we're living in right now. Andrew Tate is exactly what we need. We need someone to preach to a lot of young boys and young men who, I can't lie, are complaining. I've never heard people complain so much than ever before. People complain about the most menial and little tasks. I can't believe it. There is no other time in human history where you can go to university and there are no barriers to entry. Not that long ago, the only people who could get access to higher education were the rich. Now you can get a student loan if you're in a first world country, and if you're in the UK, you don't even have to pay that student loan back. And if you're even in the US, you don't have to pay the student loan back by force. They'll get it waived. They will get it waived. There is no easier time. There is no easier time that you can get yourself a high-paying job by going to university and following the correct routes. Yet people still complain. I find it bizarre that people complain in first world countries that they can't get money. That I will never be able to wrap my head around. That I will never be able to wrap my head around. If you're coming from a third world country, Africa, Asia, yes, I understand why you can't get money and you might not be able to support your families. But when you come from a first world country, no excuses to why you can't level yourself up financially. No excuses why you can't level yourself up physically. Again, we live in a world where we have such easy access to food and fast food and artificial food and processed food. Back in the day, if you wanted to cook a good meal for yourself, a good nutritious meal for yourself, you would have had to have gone to the store, got the food from the store, cooked it, and it would have taken you an hours to cook. You had to prepare the meal, and then you would have to cook the meal, and then you would have had to eat in the middle. There was no McDonald's. There was no Uber Eats. There was no instant access to food. There was no processed food. There was no candy bars and all these different things. You only got access to nutritious meals. Another point, most jobs would have demanded physical labor. Most jobs were physical labor. There was no computers. There was no sitting at a desk for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours at a day to earn your money. But now that's what you can do. And that's why we've created that's why America has 60% of people there are obese or something like that. That's why most people are lazy. That's why first world countries have the highest heart disease rates than anywhere else in the world. Again, Andrew Tate was needed. Andrew Tate preaches about getting your money up and getting your fitness up. Those are the two most important things. Something I always talk about. The only thing that you should be focused on if your whole world around you feel like is going down, I believe that the only two things you should be focused on is your health and your wealth. First your health, then your wealth. That's it. Nothing else. Get in the gym and focus on your grind. That's it. You haven't got time for any other bullshit. You've got no time for anything else. Again, snowflake generation. We've got to the point in our generation where we make fun of failure. We think failure is cool. If you type in on YouTube, epic fail, you'll see that they've got loads and loads of views and everybody's laughing and smiling about them. We've normalized failure. For us now, failure is a good thing. It's something that we find funny. If you ask somebody who's a hard and strong man, failure is nothing to be laughed about. Failure is nothing to smile about. I don't smile about failure. Failure is bitter. It leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. Failure is nothing that I smile about or I'm happy about. Failure makes me angry. Failure makes me pissed off. And when I do fail, I want to take that energy and put it into something productive so I don't fail again. There's nothing happy about failure. Nothing. On GCSE and A-level results day, you'll see people get on camera, get EEUUU and start smiling about it. Why? Why are people smiling about it? You'll see people, they'll have a minimum wage job and they're earning the bare minimum and they waste all their money on nights out and they smile about it like, yeah, I don't mind living this life. Why? It doesn't make any sense. You'll see people talking about body positivity and they're fat and they're smiling about it. There's nothing to smile about being fat and broke. I don't know where this came from, but there's nothing fun or good about being fat and broke. Don't worry about Andrew Tate. Listen, I'm not Andrew Tate's fanboy. I don't care what Andrew Tate does in his spare time. But if there's anything that I can say from seeing Andrew Tate from the outside looking in, don't worry about Andrew Tate. I'm on the Twitter scene and I've been following Andrew Tate for years. He was in the Twitter scene, the money Twitter scene. If anyone knows about the money Twitter scene, that's where there's a lot of money guys like Andrew Tate, guys like Alex Hormonzi, guys like Iman Gadzi, guys like Sam Ovens, Alex Becker. These are the money Twitter scene, you know. I've said before, Twitter is the best place if you want to get your money up. I thank Twitter for where I am today. No other platform, Twitter, for where I am today in terms of getting my mind up. But Andrew Tate's been about on that scene for time, and if you're on that scene, you might know about Andrew Tate's father, Emery Tate. And let me tell you why. Don't worry about Andrew Tate being banned. That guy, he will level himself up. Listen to his father. Listen to his father's tweets. Look at what his father said, and if Andrew's anything like his father, then there's nothing to worry about. He said, and rest in peace to his father, anybody who thinks they have children in my kids' league, tell me. I know we all truly love our kids. Still, I am certain mine are perfect. This is what Andrew Tate's father was saying about his kids back in 2012. So Andrew Tate must have been, 25 years old. Listen to another one. The truth is, if I could clone myself, I would not. The better versions of me already walked the planet. Love was my link to the future. #kids. This is what Andrew Tate's father was saying about his children. Another one. Means not being a reflection of pop culture. How can you be an individual when your very thoughts are clones? Be yourself. #fake. When I read tweets like that, and when I start to understand more about Andrew and Tristan Tate's father, I say there's nothing to worry about those guys. Deplatform them, cancel them, and whatever you want to do. Those guys, they're good. Whether or not they want to, go against the Matrix and fight against the Matrix, or they just want to just live their life. Whichever one they choose, fighting against the Matrix or they want to live their life, they're good either way. Nothing to worry about them. They did not lose a wink of sleep by being deplatformed. A deplatforming would affect people like KSI or the Logan Pauls who are speaking about it and whatnot, and anyone else who's speaking. That's what they would affect. That's who a deplatform affect. But Andrew Tate, no way, it wouldn't affect him. A deplatform will not affect him. Andrew Tate, you can cancel him. Let's cancel him. Let's not cancel him. It doesn't make any difference either way. His father trained them to be the best, and right now they're excelling in everything that they do, man.